Welcome back to my channel. Today, this pick a card is on what advice you need to hear now. So if you just take a few moments to choose between the three piles, and then we'll get started. So pile one, this is the advice that you need to hear right now. So pile one, I think you might actually have some friends around you who aren't focused on what is best for you. There are definitely people here, likely friends, possibly family, who you need to move away from if you're to bring in a better relationship and a happier life for yourself. I get a real sense that actually a lot of your friends, the people around you, they feel like hard work. These are people who are needing you to carry the emotional burden of your relationship with them. And so there's abundance that you have the potential to bring in here that is being blocked by these connections. You are investing so much time in these people and helping them with their problems and supporting them, whether it's financially or just emotionally. You're assisting them day to day and they're not reciprocating. And so while you're focused all of this on them, you're not focusing that on yourself, and that is appearing in terms of your finances, your career achievements, your personal achievements, and most importantly, a relationship here. You have a relationship that is wanting to come in. It's a soulmate connection or a twin flame connection. It's a very spiritual relationship here. And it's not coming forward, it's not coming together because you're invested in all of these people. So that's confirmation that you're juggling too much at the moment. There might be someone in particular here that stands out to you. This is an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius, and they might be particularly involved in this friendship issue that you're having. Yeah, absolutely confirmation here that the person that you're dealing with, some of these people that you're dealing with are unhealthy for you. They're toxic. They might actually have some unhealthy behaviors and they're bringing you into it. So I see alcohol mainly here. For some people it's just partying in general, or it's drug use. It's something that they're encouraging you to be involved in that isn't serving you for your best and your highest good for your future relationship. So in order to start to move away from this, you need to set boundaries here. You need to not necessarily take up offers to spend time with them. When they reach out, you need to have firmer boundaries with them. You need to listen to your own intuition. What are they telling you? Who are these people? What is it telling? What's your intuition telling you? You're sacrificing your happiness here in order to make other people happy and to feel accepted. I get a strong sense that if you step back from these unhealthy influences, you'll be able to bring in other connections, other friendships as well, that are more in line with who you are now. These could be people that you've known for a long time, and so it's not for everyone, but for some of you it could be people that you've known for a long time, and maybe you feel like you're outgrowing them, but you don't necessarily want to step back from the connections because they're so well established. So what's going to happen here if you change this? change will come in very quickly if you move away from these connections. The people might not necessarily receive any boundaries you set very well, but you'll actually feel much less drained. And this instability that you've been experiencing will start to improve. This is confirmation. Clear boundaries need to be set here, and you need to step back and focus on yourself. Being alone will allow you to reflect on what you want out of life, and you'll be able to move forward in a much better frame of mind. I hope that makes sense to someone. Please drop me a comment if it does, and I'll see you next time. Okay, pile 2. So what advice do you need to hear? What advice do you need to hear? Okay, so a lot of you are probably earth signs in this pile. That's Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. That's not necessarily the case here, but there's just a lot of very stable energy here. Now, the advice around this is for you to focus on work for the time being. I really feel like it's important for your future and for your lineage that you actually achieve certain milestones in your life. I feel like you're breaking ancestral karma here. There are changes that need to happen in your ancestral line, and that you have been chosen to make those changes. A lot of them are career-wise, a lot of them are financial. I feel like most of you are women, or you might identify as some way in a feminine energy, but that's not, as I say, that's not necessarily the case for everyone, but it just might be how you identify. However you are, it is just important for you here to solidify your career, your finances. I feel like you're someone that's meant to own property, and there are certain goals that you have to achieve in order to make that a reality. For some people here, you have quite traditional job, so you might have something, I think, legal for a lot of you, or something pertaining to construction for some of you. There are a lot of business people here as well, or just people in the corporate world in general, but the role that you have is so important to your future and to your lineage. You will build a lot of this with someone else in a relationship, but I feel like at the moment, some of you are currently single, and so part of bringing forward this relationship is already having established these roots, these career aspirations that you have set yourself. And I feel for a lot of you, you have set yourself certain milestones that you want to achieve. There might be someone here that wants to work specifically on a degree, or that is in a apprenticeship or early stage in their career, and so you're focused on that at the moment. But as you make these milestones, someone will come in, a romantic partner, and they will then take up this work with you. They will also be equally well established, and it's part of you, part of your lineage with them, in order to accumulate a lot of wealth. That's confirmation here that your partner or you will be very financially stable. It might feel at times like a burden to carry this responsibility. For many of you, you might not have come from families with a lot of money, and so this is, there's a lot of effort needed for you to bring this about. You need to put in a lot of long hours. You need to carry a lot of an emotional burden of your family's history. You might be supporting other family members in relation to this. There's a real sense that this might feel like a weighty responsibility at times. Again, confirmation, you know, you have to put an end to how your lineage has been before. So if there's been lack in your family before, if you have wanted for things financially, if you haven't been, if your parents or your grandparents haven't been able to make rent at times, or if they've struggled, that is you need to draw a line in the sand and begin to build generational wealth here, and that is your responsibility. And the family that come after you, your children, your grandchildren, will not have to suffer in the same way. What is the outcome of this? Yeah, there'll be a lot of ambition and drive moving forward in your lineage. This is an important shift. Anyone that comes after you will have infinite potential based off of what you have put in place within this generation. I hope that makes sense to someone here. Please drop me a comment if it does, and I'll see you again next time. Pile 3, you are up. This is the advice that you need to hear right now. So you might be in conflict with your family here. This could be a family that you've built, maybe a husband and children, but I think for a lot of you, it is the family that you grew up in. There's a lot of conflict around it. You might be particularly at odds with one person. What's the advice about it? There's something here about you connecting with them more emotionally or giving them some form of grace. I just want to know a little bit more about this fight that has happened, or this issue that's happened. What's it relate to? There's major disappointment here. I think for some of you there could be grief related. So for some of you it might be a case of, you know, there's been a loss in the family. There have been issues related to that death, whether just directly people grieving, or whether something has happened in terms of a will, or there's been fights in the aftermath of this family death. But there's something about it that it's asking you to recognize where other people in this situation are hurting, where their actions might come from a place of pain or from hurt, and to offer them some grace, whether you want to speak to them directly, but in your heart hold a certain amount of understanding for them. There needs to be more clarity around this. So what's been happening with you and with them is that someone here has been pretty rigid, and so it hasn't opened up a lot of discourse around this. You haven't been able to connect with them or discuss this with them because they've been an impossible sort of personality. There is change coming in here. For some of you, this person might, the person you've fallen out with, the family member, there might be a little bit of deception around this. And for others of you, this family could be at distance from you right now. You might not live locally, even if it's only a few towns over. Yes, that's confirmation. You might have gone out on your own and be separated from the family in some way. Okay, what's coming in with this? You'll make decisive action here. You probably will reach out to them in some capacity, or you'll be more receptive when they do. There is communication here. There's change on the way. You need to strategize in how you're going to deal with them, and be aware that they might not be entirely honest with you. I think that a lot of this is to do with you just being the bigger person. You don't have to become involved in their lives again in any kind of meaningful way, but just have a certain amount of grace towards them when you have to deal with them. It's a little bit more on what's coming in with this situation. You'll move on from the hurt here, but you still might choose, as I say, to be relatively separate from them. You just need to let down these defenses a little bit when you're dealing with them coming forward. Yeah, that's it. Just healing needed here. There's a need for some form of healing. As I say, you don't have to be in their lives again, but you know, there needs to be some sort of gesture to make peace. I think a lot of this is about you rather than your connection with them, that perhaps you're holding on to some hurt around this situation and it's unhealthy for you. So if you communicate with them, or you even forgive them in some way, it will be healing for you and it will help improve things for you. But you don't necessarily have to repair the relationship to where it was before. So I hope that makes sense for you. Please drop me a comment and let me know what's going on if it does. And I'll see you back here again soon.